The brand new lightweight Ring TV rankings are out, and you're not going to like this. Teofimo beats Devin Haney, at least in their rankings. We're going to talk about that in this video. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Happy 2022. We are here now. We got a lot to talk about it. January 1st. Hopefully everybody had a safe and, fun, eventful New Year's Eve. Devin Haney continues to get the short end of the stick in the world of boxing. Teofimo Lopez beats Devin Haney according to Ring TV's latest rankings. Now, let me take you through it. It says the Ring Awards, they got upset of the year. They did some end of the year stuff, but they also did an update on the Ring Magazine rankings, right? And we'll go to the rankings so I can pull it up for you guys. Make sure you smash the like button. I am the best in boxing for the latest and greatest. So the particular division that we want to look at is the lightweight division. I'll click on that. Boom. These are the latest rankings. The Ring Magazine champion is George Kambosos, right? So that's no shock that he's rated C for champion. But in at number one is still Teofimo Lopez, who claims that he beat the champion, which sounds completely absurd from my view. As far as I've seen, Teofimo, not only did he lose, but he lost that fight pretty bad. And it was very concise. It was a concise whooping, right? I think Teofimo Lopez, his game plan was very foolish. I can't speak for him, but just from the outside looking in, it appears to me that Teofimo underestimated George Kambosos. Thought he was a chump, inactivity that they both had, but he thought he was the power guy, Teofimo. And Kambosos coming off 2 draws, split decision draws in his last 2 fights, maybe underestimated the cat. And he tried his best to make good on the promises that him and his father had prophesized in the buildup. But he came short, and he came with a bad game plan from where I'm sitting. I thought it was just too disrespectful. He was coming in trying to gun Kambosos down, and it just really was not a thought out, meticulous art of war Sun Tzu type of performance. There was no strategy, wasn't strategic. But yet and still, with me saying all of that, Ring Magazine still has him pictured with the Ring Magazine belt, that he doesn't have. So that, I think that's kind of funny that out of all imagery, this is what they showed. And they got Teofimo. See, people don't look at the little nuanced things. There's millions of pictures of Teofimo. Like, first of all, you don't even have a picture of George Kambosos with the belts, and he's the guy that has the Ring Magazine belts. But the number 1 and rated 2, you use pictures of when Teofimo did have the Ring Magazine belt. Use a picture of Lomachenko smiling with the belt, and then you use this whatever random picture of Devin Haney where he out here naked. He ain't got no belt, like even his WBC belt or nothing, right? And so on and so forth with the rest of the guys. So I think that's kind of weird. I look at everything. Like, I got big eyes for a reason. I see everything in this boxing game. It's no different than, I remember I made a video calling out BoxRec because I noticed a pattern what they would do sometimes with black fighters primarily, and they use Shakur Stevenson. He seems like a good kid, but he had some kind of legal issues, and he got in a fist fight with some civilian at a gas station, and he got arrested for it, right? I don't really even remember what happened as far as like if he had to pay a settlement or anything, but pointless. The point I'm making is they had a mugshot of Shakur that hit the internet. This is all public domain, so you can find these types of things floating on the internet if one is, expert enough. and one is so keen, you can, if someone gets arrested, you can find the mugshot. Typically, TMZ does it a lot. But needless to say, BoxRec used the picture of Shakur Stevenson, and it was his mugshot picture. And I seen they did that for Gervonta Davis as well at a point in time. So you guys got to just peep. I know it doesn't seem like big. Some people are like, oh, ego, you're reaching. No, I'm not. Because there's been a ton of other fighters that have been arrested and or probably have mugshots available. Sergey Kovalev, Oscar De La Hoya, etc. And I've never seen Oscar De La Hoya's picture on BoxRec be a mugshot, but I have seen it for two black fighters, and that's the ones I just gave you, Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. And this shows you the power of my channel, my voice in this boxing game, because as soon as I did that video, somehow, some way, the Shakur Stevenson mugshot picture came down. So you already know what it is. So I just find it interesting that the imagery used for Teofimo and Lomachenko is showing them like with the Ring magazine strap around their chest. It's just funny to me. Now, I want to know from you guys in the comment section, what do you think of this ranking? Of course, I'm not mad at Kambosos because this is Ring magazine and he has the Ring magazine belt. So he's supposed to be listed as the champion because that's truthful. But Teofimo being rated above Lomachenko, coming directly off a loss, and Devin Haney being put behind both of them, both top ranked fighters. Devin Haney, he's undefeated still. And then they got Tank Davis at number 4. Then they got Ryan Garcia at number 5. And they got Isaac Pitbull Cruz at number 6. And the funny thing is this, speaking of this second row that you guys are seeing, you got Tank Davis at number 4 before Ryan Garcia. And then right next to Ryan Garcia is Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Ironically enough, this is the brand new rankings for Ring magazine. And in between Tank in between, I guess Ryan Garcia is in between both Tank and Isaac Pitbull Cruz. So as a late replacement, the number 6 ranked guy on Ring magazine, if you guys care about rankings, he's the guy next to Ryan Garcia is who Tank Davis fought as a alternate opponent. However, you see a lot of people not giving any shred of credit to Tank Davis for fighting with one hand. And that's a separate video. So these things in boxing, it's ironic. People say, oh, Tank, even Ryan Garcia himself said Tank is fighting C+ fighters. He's fighting C-class fighters. But the guy he just fought who had a great effort and didn't get knocked out, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, he's ranked right by Ring Magazine's depiction of the lightweight division. But Tank's not getting credit for that. Instead, people are making up falsified numbers, pencil whipping his numbers, saying he did 20,000 pay-per-views and all that. Meanwhile, a guy like Richard Comey, everybody seemed to love him from what they said. He ranked at the bottom of the list, of the pack. And he's supposed to be so good that the number 2 guy is fighting him. It's funny, Lomachenko's rated number 2 and Comey is now rated number 9 because he lost, because he's not that dude at lightweight, right? And the funny thing is, the number 2 guy lost to a Mexican fighter, Orlando Salido, in his second fight. Why not put him in with a Mexican fighter like Isaac Pitbull Cruz, who has a more refined Mexican pressure style? And that's what Lomachenko lost to. So as you guys can see, I'm opening that can of worms that guys like Lomachenko, franchise champion, WBC witness protection program, and these types of things, there's certain ways and clever matchmaking that I obviously see as to why we're seeing what we're seeing. So for example, how come Lomachenko hasn't fought the same style that has beaten him? Both of his losses from Teofimo and his previous loss to Salido, there's no rematch. There was no rematch clause. They never pursued the rematch. They said they did with Salido, but they said he wanted too much money. Well, pay the man, Shirley. Pay him. You know what I mean? And then they kept Lomachenko away from that same type of aggressive Mexican style guy who's willing to get his hands dirty. And Isaac Pitbull Cruz is that same type of fighter in terms of gritty, showed he has a chin. If Tank Davis didn't knock him out, then and Loma couldn't knock out Richard Comey, who's to say that Lomachenko would absolutely knock out Isak Pitbull Cruz? You know, and these are the funny things about the rankings. Now back to Devin Haney. As far as Devin Haney, it's weird to me, how are these rankings supposed to work? And these are the politics, because Devin Haney has the WBC belt and they're not listing Kambosos as having the WBC belt. These are updated rankings. So that's the fight that a lot of people should be pushing for, myself included. I've pushed for either Devin or Tank Davis to get the Kambosos fight because it makes the most sense. But watch the politics in boxing try to push for it, because Teofimo, he kind of bowed out, and it doesn't look like Teofimo wants a rematch. It looks like he's planning on moving up. So watch old media try to push for Lomachenko to get Kambosos. He has no belt, and this is the politics in play. They're ranking him with Ring Magazine #2, and Teofimo, he said he's already moving up. So if you rank him before Devin Haney, then Top Rank can make a case. You know, look at the moves behind the scene. Top Rank can now make a case like, oh, even though he's not a champion at all, he's a former champion, and he's rated #2 with the Ring Magazine, so he should fight Kambosos. So you can see behind the scenes the plays are being made. That's why I don't really look towards pound for pound rankings. I don't look towards Ring Magazine rankings, because they're capped. They're capped. All of them are capped. And another reason that you know this is capped is Devin Haney would solidify, and then this last belt you see right there, Ring, IBF, WBA, WBO, that would complete the collection, and the designation of franchise champion would no longer be an issue. So realistically, Devin Haney would be a great fight for Kambosos, but they're screwing around with the rankings and trying to make it look like a beltless older Lomachenko is ranked higher. So what happens? And then you have Teofimo, who's coming directly off a bad loss to an underdog. How is he? I understand that he once had the belt for the Ring Magazine, but again, these are politics, because Devin Haney called out Lomachenko, and then Lomachenko his team chose to reach out to become a franchise champion like Canelo. That's why all this stuff in boxing is capped, because this is opportunity. You know, success is really opportunity meets preparation. Devin Haney, if you play keep away, how can his opportunity meet preparation if you don't give him the opportunity? So he could be prepared for these moments. And then Devin Haney, I would probably favor him to beat George Kambosos, to be honest. But if he doesn't get the opportunity, we'll never know what type of preparation he has and if it equals success. So this is the game, this cat and mouse game that's going on in boxing. It's very apparent. Devin Haney, they don't want a kingpin like Devin Haney. They don't want this generation Mayweather. So you see Devin Haney and guys like Tank Davis, they'll always be ranked behind top ranked fighters, etc., and things like that, and Eastern European fighters. Because how is Teofimo lose? His face is bloody. He loses bad to the champion, who was a massive underdog that no one but myself and a few other people gave a chance to, and he's ranked ahead of Devin Haney and Lomachenko, who at least took his loss and then has bounced back with wins. So you guys tell me how these rankings are, how they comprise these rankings and make it make sense. So you could be undefeated and not get opportunities and still be fighting top 10 people like Jojo Diaz, who's fought a boogeyman, Javier Fortuna, and then he fought Jorge Linares, the same guy that Lomachenko fought, and people said that Linares was a quality win for Lomachenko, and he stays undefeated. But Teo, directly off a loss on Ring Magazine and a bad loss to an underdog, he could stay in front of Devin Haney, who has a WBC belt. And Teofimo had opportunities where he could have fought Lomachenko in a rematch, or he could have fought Devin Haney, and he didn't do it. Checkmate. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.